Good morning, y'all. Listen, since the price of everything seems like it's skyrocketed, I'm going to show you a dish you can make for your family that's not going to cost hardly anything at all. And I'm trying to do the best I can to help everybody to make it. Just make it. All right, so what I've done is I have boiled 3 chicken legs, and they were big. And chicken legs are one of the cheapest cuts of meat you can find, but they are nutritious and they are delicious. And so, I'm boiled them for a long time in some water, a couple of tablespoons of butter, and some pepper, salt, pepper. Now see how they're falling off the bone? This is how you want them. Take them out of your broth like this. You boil them skin and all. The bone has flavor. The skin has flavor. And this is going to make it taste a lot better. All right. So I've got there. See, that's what I mean right there. Cook it till it falls off the bone. If you don't, you're not going to have that good flavor in there that you want. All right. I need to get something to get the rest of it out. Let me find my little scooper thing. Here it is. Because you don't want any bones or bristles left in there. You want it all out. And while this chicken is cooling, I'm going to teach you how to make dumplings. But, you know, most of the time in my dumplings, I put buttermilk and a little grease and my plain flour, my all-purpose flour. Well, today I'm going to show you how to make them even cheaper than that. We're just having to do things we've never had to do before. I'm telling you. All right, so here we go. Well, there's our chicken. I'm going to set it aside, let it cool so I can debone it. All right, now here is my broth right here. Right there. See how much I've got in it? It's not quite enough broth to do a whole lot of dumplings, so I'm going to add just a little water to it. Because you've got to have enough water in the pot so that when you put your dumplings in there, they will absorb some of that broth. But I will say this, you don't want to put so much that your broth is so weak you can't taste the good chicken in it. So let me taste it and see what it's doing. I put a half a glass in there. In other words, it's coming up to about the side of my pot. If it gets too not tasty, I guess you'd say, because you didn't have enough broth in it, you can put a chicken bouillon in it. They're not expensive. That's good, and I can use just a little bit more water. All right, so now come over here and let's make our dumplings, and I'm going to show you the easy way, or I guess you'd say the cheap way to make your dumplings, okay? All right, you're going to need some self-rising flour, and the amount doesn't matter. In other words, if you said, well, I got a big family, I'm boiling the whole chicken, well, you can use more of the all-purpose flour. I'm just cooking for me, and maybe Hannah will run over here and eat with me, but other than that, there'd not be anybody else here. So I keep my all-purpose flour is in this one, and my self-rising's in this one, and I got a little white lily sticker thing right inside that so I can tell which one's which. So what I'm going to do is this. For that little tiny pot right there, I'm going to get 2 scoops of flour. Now, I imagine this is going to probably be too much, but I can save the dumpling dough and do something else with it. And instead of putting oil and, grease and buttermilk in here, I'm putting ice water. So let me get this same cup, and I'm going to go over here to my ice and get a little ice in it. And I'm going to put tap water in that cup. Get it kind of cold. And I'm going to put just a little bit in at the time. And I'm going to stir it to start with, because I'm going to be handling a lot of stuff today. And I'm going to work that ice water in with that flour. So y'all, if you can't afford buttermilk or you can't afford something, I am trying to help you the best I know how in the economy that we have. To try to feed your family, to put something in your little tummy that'll fill them up and that will also be good, tasting good, something they'll like. All right, you see how that's turning into a dough? You don't want it too thin because we got to roll it out. That looks about right to me. See how it's coming together there? Okay, now then, I'm going to work it a little bit, and I got my rolling pin out. I'm going to kind of get it up in a ball here. Listen, we just have to, if we've got water and flour, we can make a bunch of stuff. A pie shell, a dumplings, a chicken pot pie. If you got any kind of fruit, you can make a little cobbler. I mean, we can do some stuff. But you got to cook, y'all. You got to cook. All right, now it's stiff enough that I'm going to pull it out on my counter and I'm going to work it a while. To do that, you need a little flour on your surface. So let me get some for that. And get my ball of dough out. I think I'm going to have plenty. I'll just use the rest doing something else. Okay, now I'm going to work it. You want the ice water, though, so it won't be so soft. It works better with ice water than it does just regular tap water. All right. When you drop your dumplings in, your broth needs to be at a rolling boil, or your dumplings will go to the bottom and they will stick. So I think that looks about right. I divided it in half because I don't know how many I'm going to need. I'm going to put my boiler over here where y'all can see it. And we'll turn it on high. Let it be getting hot. All right, take your rolling pin and put a little bit of flour on it. You got flour on your surface. So we're going to fix to roll this thing out. All right, we're ready now. We're going to roll it out. When you roll out your dumplings, you want them as thin as possible. Paper thin if possible. Put you some muscle behind it and get it going, darling. Now, if you didn't want chicken and dumplings and you had some other kind of broth, let's say you had a bunch of peaches, and all you do is put sugar, butter, and water in your pot. Cook your peaches till they are tender and your broth tastes really super good. And then you drop your dumplings in it. You got peach cobbler. Let's say that you had roast and you had a lot of broth from your roast. All you got to do, make your water dumplings, drop them in. Okay, if it starts sticking a little bit, sprinkle a little flour on it or something. Rub it around on there. Because I want it thinner than this. All right. That looks pretty dadgum good. Can y'all see? Somebody said the other day they couldn't see what we were doing. I think if you tap your screen, it goes full screen. Then you can see it all. I believe that's how it works. All right, now get your way. All right, it's rolling boil. Let me get busy here. Oh, where am I? Here it is. This will work. So, our stuff is boiling over here at a rolling boil. Y'all see it? So you're going to cut your dumplings up in little strips like this. This is so easy. There is absolutely nothing to it. And then you drop your dumplings in. I like to drop mine like that so I can drop a bunch at one time. I'm going to debone this chicken after this cooks and put it back in there. Here's one I left out. Okay, I think I could roll out just a few more. It looks like I got room for a few more. Let me do that real quick. I'll divide this in half. Put a little flour down here. The reason I'm doing fast is I don't want my broth to boil away before my dumplings even get done. Get it thin, y'all. Get it thin. Push hard. Thin it out. Thin it out. Like that. Okay, let's cut it. It's ready. It's thin, paper thin. Let me show you. Look at that, how thin. Woo! Let's cut them up and put them in. Now, when I get them all put in, I can turn it down to about medium heat. But stir every now and then, y'all. Okay, we've got all our dumplings in. I'm going to give it a quick little stir right here. I'm going to turn it down to about 4 and let it cook, and I'm going to stir it occasionally. And now I'm going to debone this chicken, and we're going to put it in there. All right, on your chicken, y'all are thinking, oh, Brenda, your chicken's falling apart. Look at this. See that chicken leg? Watch this. See that? That's what you call getting all that bone broth out of there and saving it. All right, so here's our chicken meat. That looks great. There's a bone in a chicken leg that is kind of skinny, and you want to make sure you get that out. Here it is right here. I'll show you. When you pull that, that's the bone. There's 2 bones in a chicken leg. That big bone and that little bitty one right there. Like that. The rest of it's meat and gristle and fat. Which you want to cook all of that when you're cooking. Every bit of it. What time is it? It's 10:15 in the morning. I need to give Hannah a call and see if she wants to come over here and eat her a dumpling or 2. That's your gristle. Now, I like to eat gristles. That right there. I like them. Some people throw them away. Some people don't eat them. I've always eaten it. I bet if you looked up the gristle in chicken, you would find that it's probably good for you. It probably there's that little bone, see there? It's part of it. Here's the other part, just broken too. That little bitty one. I like dark meat of a chicken. I think it's delicious. All right. Whew, that's hot. All right, so that's how you make chicken and dumplings. We're going to throw this back in there, and when I put this in a bowl to eat it, I'm going to put me some black pepper on it. I like black pepper on mine. There's a pretty gristle right there. So this is an inexpensive way, y'all. All I know is I have tried now for 4 years. I started this in 2020. 4 years ago, I started trying to help people to cook. And I've shown you some very inexpensive but delicious recipes that are easy. You don't really need a recipe. You just kind of taste it and see if it's good, see if it needs salt and pepper, see if it needs garlic, whatever you want to put. All right. That's scrap right there. Just set it aside. Put our meat over here. Give it a quick stir. Start cleaning up my mess. I'm going to take this other little ball of dough, that little bit back there, and I'll save it and do a pie crust or something out of it. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, y'all, our dumplings are ready. I have tasted them to make sure that there's no salt, pepper, butter, anything else, and they are delicious. So now take your meat. After they're completely done, put the meat in there. If your meat is cold, then you need to let it cook a second just to get hot. But if your meat is warm like mine is, all you do is just kind of stir it around in there like that, and it's ready, other than a little pepper in it. Okay, y'all, now I'm going to fix me a bowl of dumplings with some chicken in it. Now, this is how you want them to look. You want them juicy and not dried out. Like that. And I like to, after I've got mine in my bowl, I like to put a little extra pepper on mine. I love black pepper. Do y'all love black pepper? Anyway, there it is. Let's take a bite. Y'all, I thought we would just come outside and eat. You know, when the weather's beautiful like this, I put my little chicken and dumplings in one of these little cozies that was given to me. Makes it so nice. Makes it so nice. Anyway, the chicken is all tender and good. Melt in your mouth. And here's a bite of dumpling. It's drippy kind of. Let me take my napkin. Do y'all ever have to do this? I've got more stuff on me before. There. Somebody gave me a bill, but I've worn it before. I felt like a baby. Here's your dumpling. See how moist it is and got good chicken broth on it? And it's delicious. And to me, the broth is one of the best parts, the chicken broth. I love chicken broth. Y'all are probably wondering, how long did Miss Brenda let those dumplings cook? Well, I let them probably cook 15 minutes, and you know they were really thin. So 15 minutes is plenty time to let them be cooking. See there? I'm glad I put my napkin up there. Y'all, my turnip greens are doing really super good. Got my fence up. It's redneck, that's for sure. But if it works, that's all right. If it will just work, keep those deer off of it. What a gorgeous day. Y'all look out there. Look at that. What a pretty day we're having. It is just wonderful. The leaves are beginning to turn. That tree right there is totally naked. It doesn't have anything on it. But it's so pretty today. It's calm. There's no wind or anything. It's great. I got to go to town in a few minutes and I hadn't even made my list. I like to make a list when I go to town because I found if you make a list, you'll get it done. And you're supposed to do your list. Now listen to this. In a circular pattern. In other words, don't just put down bank, grocery store, hardware store, buy a pair of boots at the clothing store. I don't know what all you got to do. Go to the post office. But think about your route. In other words, you can save on these dumplings. You can save money. But you can save on gas if you put it in order. In other words, the first thing I come to, what is it? Mine happens to be the bank. So I pull in the bank and do whatever I've got to do there. Then I pull out of the bank and go immediately to the grocery store because it's the next in line as far as my route. Then if I have to go around all the way the bypass to the drugstore or to Tractor Supply or wherever I go, then I put that next because that would be taking me around the bypass. Then I come back through town and go to anything I need to go to there, which is the post office, the courthouse to pay my property tax or my car tag or whatever. And then I can just come right on back home and stop on the gas station on the way home. So I hadn't got to backtrack. In other words, I didn't go this way. They had to turn around and go that way. And so that's saving gas, especially if you don't at the red light and zoom out. Just go slow, take your time, and that saves gas. So anyway, I'm trying to give you some hints because I know it's hard on you. It's hard on everybody. It's hard on everybody to stretch our dollar and to use whatever we can do to help till maybe we get out of this thing. And hopefully soon. I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm hoping and praying because I know there's a lot of people suffering. Hey, y'all, have a great day. It's beautiful outside. These dumplings are good. Making some chicken and dumplings. The kids will love it. Love y'all. Bye-bye.